Remember being a kid, absolutely convinced that your first date would be this magical, movie-perfect experience?
Oh, cool.
The excitement, the wonder, the absolute, possibility of it all.
Yeah.
But let's be real, for many of us as adults, dating often feels less like a rom-com and more like a never-ending chore.
It really does.
It's often tangled up with awkwardness, insecurity, and just a whole lot of societal pressures. A far cry from those glamorous portrayals we see on screen, wouldn't you say?
It absolutely is. And our author, a psychotherapist, and also just a friend to many, she saw this stark contrast playing out in real time.
Ah,
When online dating first exploded, she was genuinely thrilled, actually. Even helped friends craft their profiles.
right.
But she soon realized she was having more fun hearing about their dating experiences than her friends were actually having living them.
Oof, yeah. That sounds familiar.
And at the same time, her single clients were consistently bringing the same complaint to therapy.
Hmm.
Dating was like the #1 source of disappointment and distress for them.
And that's really where this deep dive begins, isn't it?
Right.
Our author brings such a rich tapestry of experience to this topic,
She really died.
not just as a therapist, but as a mother, a wife, a daughter, a Black woman, and I love this, a self-proclaimed pop culture junkie.
Yeah, that part's great. She weaves in her own personal blunders and triumphs alongside solid clinical advice.
So it's not your typical rigid how-to guide then.
No, definitely not. It's more like having a really insightful chat with a wise, compassionate friend. That's the vibe.
Okay, I like that.
It's spot on. So our mission with this deep dive into Seeking Soulmate is really to help you, the listener, truly identify your authentic self
Okay.
and learn how to respond differently to those persistent negative thoughts. Maybe transform some unhelpful behavioral patterns that might be holding you back.
Right.
And ultimately just open up new avenues for genuine connection in your dating life.
Making dating less of a burden, maybe?
Exactly. Making it more of a peaceful, even joyful journey of self-discovery. That's the goal.
Okay, so let's unpack this core idea then. The book introduces mindful dating as the kind of ultimate solution to all that stress and disillusionment. But what exactly does mindful dating really mean in practice? Like, what's the biggest shift it asks us to make?
It's really a fundamental shift from autopilot to intention. That's the key.
Okay.
Mindful dating is about actively addressing the negative thoughts, the self-sabotaging behaviors, and that sort of deep-seated lack of awareness that often keeps us stuck.
Right, feeling stuck.
Yeah. And it's kind of revolutionary because it gives you practical tools to manage these internal hurdles.
Tools we can actually use.
Exactly. Cultivating authentic connections that can truly lead to lasting love. It's moving from just doing dating to actually being present in your dating life, intentionally.
And at the heart of it, the author talks about this interconnected triangle. Thoughts influence feelings, feelings influence behaviors, and behaviors, in turn, influence thoughts. Can you walk us through how this loop often traps us? And more importantly, how mindful dating suggests we can actually, intervene in it?
Absolutely. Think of it as an equilateral triangle.
Yeah.
Each side impacts the others. It's a constant feedback loop.
Okay.
The crucial insight here is that while you can't directly command a feeling to disappear you can't just tell yourself, stop feeling jealous of Beyoncé's seemingly flawless life.
Yeah, if only.
Right. You can intervene by changing your thoughts and your actions. Those are the points you have control over.
Ah, okay. So focus on thoughts and actions.
Exactly. So if your jealousy is fueled by constantly scrolling through her social media, you can choose to stop that action. That's a behavior change.
Makes sense.
By consciously changing that behavior and then maybe practicing some self-compassion in your thoughts, you can indirectly yet powerfully shift how you feel.
So you're disrupting the loop.
You're disrupting the loop by targeting the thoughts and behaviors that feed those difficult emotions.
That makes so much sense. It's not the event itself then, but our interpretation of the event that truly drives our reactions.
Precisely.
The book gives such a vivid example of this. Two different people reacting so differently to someone yelling, ugly, from a passing car.
Exactly that example. It's perfect. One person might think, who says that? Wow, that person clearly has their own issues, and just shrug it off.
Right. Doesn't take it personally.
Their interpretation is external, right? So their emotional reaction is minimal. But the second person immediately internalizes it.
Oh, no.
Thinking, oh my God, I am ugly. I knew I should have put on more makeup. Everyone is staring. They personalize the incident, validating their own negative belief.
And their mood just tanks.
Completely tanks.
Yeah.
Same event, Totally different outcomes, all because of their internal narrative, their interpretation. It's a powerful demonstration of how we often create our own emotional realities.
Wow. So if we can increase our awareness of these internal processes, it sounds like we gain a crucial choice. Moving from that automatic reactive behavior to something far more responsive and adaptive. That sounds like unlocking a real superpower.
It truly is. Increased awareness allows you to pause, first of all. Just pause.
That pause is key.
It is, and discern whether a worry is rooted in reality or if it's simply an imagined fear spinning out of control. This pause gives you a critical choice in how you react.
Instead of just reacting.
Exactly. It shifts your behavior from being on autopilot,
Fun.
just reacting to whatever thoughts pop up, to being intentional and, hopefully, more productive. This leads to a much greater sense of control and clarity.
Control and clarity, but that sounds good in dating.
And in life in general, really.
Okay, let's talk about something many of us struggle with, especially in the dating world. Body image. The author zeroes in on this societal, narrow standard of beauty.
Oh, definitely. It's like being told you can only eat cheddar cheese,
Huh.
when there's this entire world of delicious Gruyere, Gouda, Parmesan out there. It's limiting. This relentless narrow standard is constantly reinforced by media, leading to comparison and often a really negative body image.
Yeah, the comparison trap.
It's particularly pervasive for women, with girls as young as 10 worrying about being fat and that dissatisfaction only tending to increase with age. It's a huge burden we carry.
It really is. The author shares a really powerful personal anecdote, doesn't she, about seeing racy pictures of beautiful women displaying their round bottoms.
Yes.
And feeling this surge of shame about her own uncharacteristically flat rump. What does that story reveal about how all these internal processes kind of converge?
It's such a fantastic example because it clearly shows how deeply interconnected our thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and even our physical body are.
Right.
For her, those adolescent memories of being teased about her body just resurfaced instantly.
Triggered.
Totally triggered, triggering feelings of shame. And these feelings then impacted her behavior and her body language. Maybe she became more avoidant or isolated herself, pulled away from social stuff.
Yeah, you can see how that would happen.
It vividly illustrates how our mental and emotional landscape directly shapes our physical presence and our interactions with the world. It's all linked.
Let's shift now to some common unhelpful dating patterns. The author uses a great metaphor here. Judging potential partners by the box rather than the contents. What does she mean by that?
It's all about focusing on the superficial qualities. That's the box. Instead of a person's true value, their character, their contents.
The stuff that actually matters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about Ciara, one of the author's clients. She was an attractive African-American woman in her mid-30s.
Okay.
She had this profound spiritual and emotional connection with a musician. She felt wonderful with him, found him attractive.
That's great so far.
But ultimately, she dismissed him because he lacked a clear financial plan. That was the sticking point.
The box.
She prioritized that one box, quality financial stability, over the deep, genuine contents she admitted she was truly looking for. And it led to significant regret down the line. She overlooked what was right there.
Wow, regret is tough. And then there's the I need a hero device. That sounds problematic, where people essentially try to outsource their personal problems to a relationship.
Yeah, whether it's loneliness or financial instability or low self-esteem. Haley's story is a really extreme but illuminating example of this.
Okay, what happened with Haley?
She was 24, struggling with loneliness, low self-esteem, financial insecurity, just feeling really lost.
In there.
And she genuinely believed that finding a boyfriend would solve all her problems.
Right.
Like magic.
The hero.
The hero. She found someone who paid for everything, and for 5 years they were inseparable. But she quickly felt trapped in an increasingly contentious and, sadly, abusive dynamic.
Oh, no.
Her desperate escape plan, and this is shocking, was to sleep with a neighbor, get pregnant, and have him, the neighbor, take care of her and the baby so she could leave her current relationship.
Wow, that's incredibly intense. It just screams desperation, doesn't it?
It really hammers home how making someone else responsible for your happiness is just a recipe for disaster. Those initial problems you tried to fix by finding a hero, they don't disappear. They often resurface with a vengeance, sometimes tripling in severity.
So she ended up worse off.
She ended up with an abusive dynamic on top of her original issues. It just shows you can't delegate your happiness or your self-worth. It has to come from within.
So true. Okay, another common pitfall. Waiting too long to discuss expectations. This sounds like it could save a lot of heartache.
It absolutely can. So much heartache. The book shares Cheryl's story. She spent 2 years with Gary before realizing they had these fundamental incompatibilities.
2 years is a long time.
It is. Feels like faithfulness, education goals,
Hmm,
pretty major stuff. The author highlights it, it takes more than love and potential for a relationship to work.
that's a key line. Love isn't always enough.
It isn't. Had Cheryl been upfront about her desires earlier, she could have avoided investing so much time and emotional energy in a relationship that was ultimately, well, going nowhere for her.
Clarity early on. Got it. And then there's stalking up, which sounds a bit like panic buying for your love life. What's the core fear behind that behavior?
It's totally panic buying. It's an anxiety-driven pattern rooted in a fear of scarcity.
Like there aren't enough good ones out there.
Exactly. The belief that there aren't enough fish in the sea, so you panic and settle for any clownfish that comes along.
Clownfish.
The author, who moves from LA to New York, compares it to how frenzied New Yorkers might stock up on something unusual like, I don't know, rye olive loaf before a snowstorm.
Uh-huh. Okay. Weirdly specific.
Right. You panic, you grab anything, and once the storm of fear passes, you're left with something you don't even want or need. It's about letting fear drive your choices instead of genuine connection or desire.
So the antidote is what? To be realistic about your dating pool. Relate to potential partners as equals. Except you might make mistakes.
Exactly. All of that. It's about cultivating self-worth and believing that you are deserving of the relationship you truly desire.
Not settling out of fear.
Right. Not settling from a place of anxiety or scarcity thinking, trusting there's enough out there for you.
Okay, let's shift gears to the practical application of mindful dating. The first pillar is honesty. It seems like such a no-brainer, right? But it can be really tricky to balance being open without like oversharing or withholding too much.
It truly is an art of balance,
Yeah.
but it starts with radical honesty with yourself first, about who you are and where you are in life.
Okay, self-honesty first.
Yeah. For example, if you identify as LGBTQ, the book stresses the importance of owning what stage of coming out you're in. Be honest with yourself about that.
Right.
If you're fully out, don't contort yourself back into the closet just for a relationship.
Mhm.
And if you're not ready to be out and proud, don't force a relationship that pushes you there prematurely.
So authenticity is key.
Being upfront and authentic creates the foundation for a genuine connection. Always.
And for transgender individuals, honesty can feel incredibly unsafe, can it? Given the very real risks of brutality and violence they face.
Yes, tragically, the risks of assault, suicide, and murder are devastatingly real. That's why the author emphasizes the importance of disclosing your status up front.
How can they do that safely?
Maybe within your online profile or by choosing to meet within supportive community spaces initially. This helps you connect with people who are already accepting and supportive from the start,
Filtering for safety and acceptance?
significantly reducing the chances of unsafe or uncomfortable in-person encounters and ensuring your safety is prioritized. That has to come first.
Absolutely. The book also touches on dating someone with a disability. It warns against attraction based on a caregiver tendency. Why is that problematic?
Well, it might seem noble, right? To be drawn to someone because you want to take care of them.
Yeah, sounds good on the surface.
But if your motivation is rooted in your own need to sacrifice or feel good about yourself, it's a slippery slope. It's not about them, it's about you.
Ah, okay.
That kind of dynamic can lead to resentment down the line because it's not truly about the other person's needs or an equal partnership.
And it could hurt the other person.
It risks hurting your partner deeply. They might genuinely believe the relationship is based on mutual affection and connection, only to find out it was rooted in your own internal need to be a hero or a rescuer.
Ouch. Okay. And for those dating after divorce, the crucial question is always, am I truly ready?
And only you know the real answer to that.
Yeah.
No one else can tell you.
Right.
The author emphasizes that if you're genuinely seeking a soulmate, not just a rebound, you absolutely must first understand what went wrong in your past marriage.
Taking responsibility.
And, crucially, what your own role was in its demise. That takes real honesty.
Hmm.
You need a clear idea of what a healthy partnership looks like for you before re-entering the dating scene.
Otherwise.
Otherwise, you risk just falling into short-term flings or repeating old patterns when your ultimate goal is actually a deep, lasting connection.
Makes sense. Single parents also have unique considerations. The book says it's non-negotiable to be upfront about having kids.
Yes, non-negotiable, and ideally before the first date.
Why so early?
It's about prioritizing your children's well-being above all else, period. While this might initially thin out your dating pool, sure,
That can be scary.
it can be, but it saves everyone time and ensures your potential partner understands that your children are and will always be your primary focus. They come first.
And communication with the kids themselves.
Also crucial. Open communication with your children about your dating life, in an age-appropriate way, of course. Allowing them to express their feelings helps you make the best decisions for the whole family.
And screening partners carefully.
Critically important.
Yeah.
You must screen new partners with extreme care, given the devastating prevalence of child abuse by step-parents. You have to ensure your children's safety and comfort above all else.
Absolutely vital. Okay, and religious or spiritual beliefs, how does honesty play into that, especially when beliefs differ?
Again, open and honest discussion from the get-go is key. The book advises this strongly.
Instead of avoiding it.
Right. Instead of viewing these differences as a liability or a potential threat to the relationship, couples can consciously choose to see them as an asset.
An asset?
As an opportunity for collaboration and learning. It's a rich chance to learn about each other's food, music, practices, holidays. It can significantly enrich the relationship rather than divide it if you approach it with curiosity and respect.
That's a great perspective shift. Moving on to navigating needs. It's so easy to get swept away when you're really into someone new, isn't it?
Oh yeah, the new relationship energy.
But it's vital to recognize and honor your own needs, especially, as you mentioned, for single parents who have so many additional responsibilities.
Absolutely. This is precisely where the power of boundaries comes in, setting and maintaining them.
Boundaries are key.
For same-sex couples, for example, who may not have those traditional gendered social separations like girls' night out or guys' night, it's even more important to explicitly establish boundaries and maintain independent lives, friendships, interests.
To avoid just merging completely.
Exactly. This prevents enmeshing, where partners become so intertwined they lose their individuality. That can eventually kill the spark and turn them into mere roommates. You need space to remain individuals.
Right. And for caregivers, dating someone with a disability.
Self-care isn't a luxury, it's paramount. Your needs are just as important to prevent burnout and ensure the relationship remains healthy and sustainable for both of you. You can't pour from an empty cup.
So true. So, bottom line, you won't find a soulmate just sitting on your couch, right? Probably not. The book encourages getting out there to strengthen flirt muscles, as she puts it, and break out of isolated ruts.
Exactly. You have to actively participate in the process. Socializing, mingling, these are key to breaking out of that isolating rut of just, suffering and ruminating about everything that's gone wrong.
Get out of your head and into the world.
Yeah. Put yourself in places where connection can actually happen. Be open to it.
Okay, now, managing outside opinions. We all get them, whether solicited or not, especially when it comes to who we date. People love to weigh in.
Oh, people have opinions about everything.
Yeah.
Especially relationships.
Yeah.
And when you date someone that society or even your closest friends and family deem unfit, for whatever reason, you are almost guaranteed to face judgment. It just comes with the territory.
The author shares her own experience with this, right?
Yes, a powerful personal experience dating her husband, Brian. He was her first long-term partner and was outside her racial and cultural background.
And people had opinions.
While many people were accepting, she mentions older generations in his family and even a close family member of her own expressing concerns, delivering what she calls microaggressions.
Like what?
Like being told she was the whole package except she wasn't with a black guy.
Yeah.
Just incredibly diminishing.
That's incredibly painful and dismissive. So how do you navigate those conversations without just getting defensive, which is the natural reaction?
It is the natural reaction, but it requires a thoughtful, not defensive response. You have to try and recognize that while the resistance can be deeply ignorant or even racist sometimes, it often comes from a place of concern. However misguided or poorly expressed it might be, they think they're protecting you or upholding something.
Okay, trying to see the maybe flawed intention.
Right. And as a couple, discussing how your relationship can be a celebration of diverse backgrounds rather than a threat. That can help.
Framing it positively.
In genuinely committing to learning about each other's food, music, holidays, this not only strengthens your bond, but also gives you a framework for responding to that external disapproval. It turns a potential conflict into an opportunity for cultural enrichment, for yourselves and maybe even for others.
I like that. Okay, next up, dating in the moment. This is about truly being present, right? Mind, body, and spirit on dates. Sounds incredibly powerful.
It is, but it's harder than it sounds,
Mhm.
especially if you're carrying past trauma.
That
Can significantly disrupt this presence.
oh, so.
The book shares Charlotte's extreme case. She was sexually assaulted by a drunk ex in college, a deeply traumatic event.
Oh, terrible.
Years later, when her date, Lisa, showed up 15 minutes late and had clearly been drinking, Charlotte's past immediately took over. Her brain overgeneralized Lisa's behavior as a threat.
So she wasn't really there with Lisa.
Exactly. She wasn't with Lisa in the present moment. She was reliving her past trauma, completely unable to truly connect or see Lisa for who she was in that moment. The past hijacked the present.
And it sounds like our thoughts can really snowball sometimes, creating these elaborate made-up storylines that start to feel completely factual, pulling us out of the present.
Well, 100%. When we're unaware, our minds can absolutely run away with us, generating more and more thoughts and images, creating this detailed plot that often has very little to do with reality.
Like a movie in your head.
Totally. These storylines feel so developed and real that they hijack our attention, making us react to them as if they're actually happening right now. It's a fundamental way our minds pull us out of the present moment and into a reactive, often anxious state.
This leads us nicely to flexibility and spaciousness of mind, which the author defines as having an open mind that's unrestricted and unlimited. What does that look like in practice?
The dream closet analogy she uses really helps here.
Okay, the dream closet.
Imagine a beautiful, expansive walk-in closet that's just crammed full of countless bags of junk thoughts, old beliefs, worries, judgments that you just can't seem to let go of.
Putter.
So much clutter, you can't even close the door, let alone find those fabulous new outfits, new thoughts, new perspectives you know are in there somewhere.
Right, buried under the junk.
Our mind could be exactly like that, full of great potential, great thoughts, but they're hidden under all these hoarded, unhelpful ones. We need spaciousness.
How do we get spaciousness?
Through awareness and non-judgment. Making room for new, fresh thoughts by actively noticing and choosing not to engage with the old, unhelpful ones. It's like consciously decluttering your mind to truly see what's possible.
So, flexibility and spaciousness free the mind to explore multiple ideas, accept alternate explanations. Basically, let go of the need to have all the answers or be right all the time.
Precisely. It creates an unburdened mind, which in turn significantly increases your opportunities for joy, pleasure, and genuine connectivity in all areas of your life, but especially in dating. You're just more open.
Okay, let's talk about some specific tools and practices for mindful dating, starting with addressing distorted thinking. What's mind reading and why is it so detrimental in dating?
Mind reading, it's when you assume you know what someone else is thinking and feeling, but you have zero actual proof. And crucially, these assumptions are almost always negative.
Oh, right, like they think I'm boring.
Exactly. Or they're clearly not interested. Or
Yeah.
they must think I look awful. When you have no actual evidence, the author humorously says, oh yeah, I can't read minds. Because, well, none of us can.
True.
It's an impossible and often really harmful habit that leads directly to self-sabotage in dating. You react to your assumption, not to reality.
And should statements.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I think we're all guilty of those sometimes.
You're definitely not alone. These are those rigid, often totally unrealistic conditions you place on dating or on a potential partner.
Like what?
Like, he should have a full head of hair, or I should feel instant chemistry on the first date, or she should call exactly 24 hours later.
Right, these arbitrary rules.
Exactly. The author aptly says you can should yourself right out of a love life. They also masquerade as must, have to, or oughta. They just create incredibly narrow expectations that reality rarely, if ever, meets.
Sets you up for disappointment. Then there's black and white thinking.
That's the tendency to live in extremes. Things are either amazing or terrible, good or bad, wrong or right, perfect or a total disaster. No in between.
All or nothing.
All or nothing. But as the author points out, most of us don't live in a polarized world like, say, Star Wars, where the Empire is purely evil and the Jedi are purely good.
Good analogy.
Real life, and especially real relationships, have so much more nuance and shades of gray. This type of thinking prevents us from appreciating imperfections or complexities in others and in ourselves.
And catastrophizing sounds like my brain at 3 a.m. sometimes. What's the real impact of this on dating?
It's focusing on the absolute worst possible outcome and just blowing things way, way out of proportion.
It's like that phone example.
Yeah, think of Charlotte's extreme phone anxiety. She imagined her brother in a ditch, susceptible to thugs, all because she didn't have her phone for a bit.
Wow.
Or the man on a first date who decided he'd die single because his date didn't happen to like Thai food.
Oh my God.
It creates immense unnecessary anxiety and prevents you from seeing the reality of a situation. It's like living in a constant state of emergency over minor things.
So what if is its anxious cousin then?
Pretty much, yeah. It's a preoccupation with hypothetical negative outcomes, constantly asking, what if?
Charlotte did this too.
Oh yeah, Charlotte also excelled at this. Constantly worrying, what if eating that extra bite of bread messes up my audition? Or what if therapy never works? Or what if he doesn't call back?
Endless loop of doom.
These what-ifs feel incredibly plausible and real in the moment, and they immediately impact your mood and your ability to engage. They effectively steal your presence and your joy, creating this constant low hum of anxiety underneath everything.
Okay, let's talk about emotions. The book stresses something really interesting. Feelings are not you. This sounds like such a liberating concept.
It's truly transformative when you grasp it. Feelings are momentary states, like weather passing through. They are not fixed self-labels.
Can you give an example?
Ciara, the client who struggled with insecurity, right? She would label herself an insecure and unlovable person if a relationship didn't develop exactly as she wanted.
Making it her identity.
Exactly. But the reality was she felt insecure in that moment. She wasn't fundamentally an insecure person in her core identity. Understanding that emotions are temporary visitors allows them to pass more naturally without you attaching your entire identity to them.
So you don't have to be the feeling.
You don't have to be the feeling. It frees you from the burden of feeling, like a fleeting emotion is who you are fundamentally.
And challenging the idea of good and bad emotions.
Yeah.
So often we try to push away bad feelings like anger or sadness.
We really do. But the book argues all emotions are natural and valid. None are inherently bad. They all serve a purpose or carry information.
Even anger.
Especially anger. Anger often gets a bad rap, but it can be a powerful signal that something is wrong, that a boundary has been crossed, or it can motivate you to advocate for yourself.
Okay.
The author shares Elizabeth's experience after her divorce. She felt this profound sense of niceness, like a relief, after finally allowing herself to feel angry about the injustice she experienced. It was validating.
So instead of good, bad.
It's more useful to think of feelings as pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And neutral in particular is often what we strive for in mindful practice.
Neutral doesn't sound very exciting, though. Doesn't mean numb.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Neutral doesn't mean numbness or apathy. It means not being triggered, not being hooked by the emotion. It allows a more realistic and unbiased view of the situation or the person, freeing us from those patterned reactive behaviors. It brings clarity.
Clarity, not numbness. Got it. Shifting to self-esteem and self-compassion, the book uses Scott's story to illustrate people-pleasing, which I imagine is rampant in dating.
Oh, it is so common. Scott was conditioned from a very young age to put others' needs first because he had an alcoholic, dependent mother. That was his survival strategy.
So it carried into adulthood.
Absolutely. He initially attracted women because he was so accommodating, so eager to please, but then he'd inevitably grow resentful because his own needs were never being met.
Because he never expressed them.
Exactly. He constantly sought external validation and didn't set boundaries, believing kind of magically that if people truly loved him, they'd just intuitively know how to care for him.
That doesn't usually work.
Rarely. The key takeaway here is that setting boundaries isn't selfish. It's essential for self-care and building genuine self-esteem. It ensures your needs are prioritized and respected in the relationship, too. It's about equality.
And mindfulness plays a significant role in building that self-worth, doesn't it?
It really does. It helps you break free from that destructive cycle of rumination on negative experiences or perceived failures.
Stops the downward spiral.
Yes. It builds self-efficacy. It's your belief in your ability to handle things by fostering trust in your own ability to handle unpleasant feelings, rather than constantly trying to avoid them or needing someone else to fix them.
Like Haley needing a hero.
Exactly like Haley, a
Ugh.
client who needed a hero. Her pattern stemmed from a lack of fundamental self-respect and confidence. She used others' interest as proof of her value.
Which is a shaky foundation.
Incredibly shaky. It inevitably led to blame and depression when relationships soured because her sense of worth was tied to them, not to herself. Mindfulness helps you realize your worth comes from within. It's inherent, not dependent on external validation.
This all leads beautifully to what the author calls a love affair with yourself, emphasizing that it's truly impossible to love others fully until you love yourself. It's a cliche, maybe, but it sounds like she really gets to the core of it.
It's a cliche because it's just fundamentally true. Self-love isn't selfish. It's the crucial, non-negotiable foundation for all healthy relationships. It encompasses self-respect, self-compassion, and active self-care.
How do you have an affair with yourself? Sounds interesting.
The book provides beautiful practical steps for dating yourself, like consciously scheduling time for solo dates, just for you,
Planning them.
planning them ahead of time, making them special, and going on them with mindful presence, really enjoying your own company. It even includes the often overlooked aspect of physical touch. Yeah, like mindfully applying lotion, really feeling the sensation, or even using a vibrator, not just for orgasm, but as a profound act of tenderness and love towards your own body. Reclaiming pleasure for yourself.
That's really powerful. And a beautiful loving kindness meditation is offered as well.
Yes, it's such a powerful practice. Simple but profound. It involves breathing mindfully, settling yourself, and then extending loving kindness to yourself first.
With specific phrases.
Using phrases like, may you be accepting of your whole being, may you find joy, may you have ease of body and mind, may you be at peace. Repeating them gently. It's about actively cultivating that deep well of goodwill and compassion for yourself first, which then naturally overflows to others.
Lovely. Okay, let's talk flirting. Flirting with confidence. That's a big one because confidence is undeniably attractive in any setting, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The author says it's truly the sexiest characteristic. Confidence wins, hands down.
But what if you're shy?
Even if you're naturally shy, the key is acting in the face of discomfort, pushing past that initial awkwardness. Actually, the author notes that flirting, while shy, can even be incredibly charming sometimes.
Really? Okay, that's encouraging.
The key is mindful flirting techniques. First, being truly present in the moment to make genuine connections, not just reciting lines.
Being present again.
Always. And leveraging body language. The book even humorously quotes Ursula from Disney's The Little Mermaid.
Ursula, seriously?
Yeah. Don't underestimate the importance of body language, which translates to uncross arms, good posture, leaning in slightly, and making confident eye contact.
What's the eye contact trick?
Little couple of blinks trick. Hold eye contact for a few seconds, blink a couple of times slowly, then look away briefly before re-engaging. It shows interest without being creepy or starey.
Okay, subtle. And getting handsy. That sounds risky.
Yeah, didn't need scare. She means subtly, not creepily.
How subtle?
Think very light, brief touches, like lightly brushing hands when reaching for something, or a gentle touch on the arm or shoulder while telling a story or laughing. Context is everything.
And paying attention to their reaction is key.
Always be mindful of your date's reaction. If they lean in, smile, reciprocate eye contact, you're likely on the right track. If they pull away physically or look uncomfortable, respect that boundary immediately. Back off.
Got it. Okay, now that we know how to flirt, where do we actually seek a soulmate? The book advises authenticity over strategy.
Yes. Which means finding partners in places you naturally enjoy spending time anyway.
Makes sense. Less pressure.
Exactly. Shared interests naturally lead to more authentic exchanges than trying to strategize your way into a relationship by going places you hate just because you think singles hang out there.
So maybe skip the loud club if that's not your scene.
Right. While bars and clubs might seem obvious, the author argues they're often not ideal for finding a soulmate specifically. Because of the alcohol, the prevalence of hookup culture, the tendency for game playing.
It's a different goal, maybe.
It can be. The goal here is finding a genuine connection, not tricking someone into liking you or just finding a hookup.
Okay. So, beyond the typical bar scene, what are some of the hot spots for singles that the author highlights? Places for genuine connection.
Well, a gem, for example, offers easy conversation starters, asking for help with a machine, commenting on a shared class, asking about trainers. Low stakes.
Oh, the gym.
The grocery store is also a classic. The author's mom apparently had great success there.
Aha, really?
Yeah. As the author jokes, single people got to eat too.
True. Any tips for grocery store mingling?
Tips include timing your visit for peak single hours, maybe like 6 p.m. on a weekday when people stop after work. And maybe avoid initiating awkward conversations in the personal hygiene aisle.
Good call. What else?
Sporting events also foster camaraderie and shared passion. It's easy to strike up a conversation with fellow fans. There's built-in shared excitement.
Coffee shops seem like a logical place, too.
Definitely. They're generally less threatening or intense than bars, and there's a constant large influx of people. Lots of regulars, too.
We're in the coffee shop.
You can stake out social spots like near the front door, the coffee retrieval area, or communal tables. You can even use their drink order as a conversation starter.
Right.
Ooh, a tall, decaf, oat milk, extra foam cappuccino. Is it any good? I always wonder about those. Just be curious.
Okay, I can see that. Classes.
Classes and workshops are fantastic for meeting people with similar interests.
Yeah.
Guaranteed common ground. Wine tasting, cooking classes, even if you go alone, you're likely to meet other singles or maybe their cool friends who tag along.
Takes the pressure off. And online dating. It's huge now.
It's the most used source today, realistically. And it's essential to destigmatize it. It's just another tool in the toolbox.
Totally. It's just another tool.
Exactly. The book offers practical tips. Use personable photos, maybe with friends or pets, things that show your personality. Avoid overly posed or generic ones. And crucially, look for deeper connections beyond just the initial profile descriptions or swiping quickly. Read what they write. Ask thoughtful questions. The goal is to move past the superficiality and truly engage.
Okay, good tips. Once you've found someone and actually have a date lined up, what are the best practices for that all-important first encounter? The book encourages making the first move, regardless of gender.
Yes, take initiative. Don't wait around playing games. If you're interested, show it or suggest something.
And complimenting.
Rather than complimenting superficial appearance, you have nice eyes, or try complimenting their abilities, their passion for something they mentioned or something thoughtful they said. It shows you were listening.
Nice. What about food?
Mindfully eating your food. Maybe pass on the super messy BBQ ribs for a first date.
Aha, probably wise.
But actually enjoying your meal, rather than nervously picking at your plate, can be a great way to be present and connect. Sharing food can be bonding.
And open communication seems absolutely key, even on a first date.
Absolutely. Being open, appropriately of course, with your feelings and thoughts, allows your date to see the real you. It makes you human and approachable, builds trust.
What about phones?
Crucially, put your phone away. Completely away, out of sight. There's nothing more off-putting or disrespectful than a date checking their phone constantly. Be present with the person in front of you.
Big pet peeve, for sure. Alcohol.
Drink in moderation. Being sloppy drunk robs you of your ability to make clear choices in the here and now, prevents genuine connection, and frankly, isn't usually a good look.
Right.
The book even suggests mindful hydration with water as a grounding exercise during the date if you feel nervous. Just focusing on sipping water can bring you back to the moment.
Don't forget to get your flirt on, and no X talk, right? That's a classic rookie mistake.
Definitely put those newly honed flirting skills to good use. And equally important, pay attention to their flirt game too, is their chemistry.
Reciprocity.
And the X's. Keep them out of it. Past relationships are in the past. They belong there, especially on a first date. If things go well, there will be plenty of time to learn about past romances down the line. Focus on the person right in front of you now.
Good rule. And if there are no immediate sparks, the book suggests giving a second chance. Because first dates can often be awkward.
They absolutely can be awkward. Nerves get in the way. Sometimes that chemistry needs a bit more time or a different setting to develop. So yeah, unless there were major red flags, consider a second date.
But if it's truly not working,
then be honest and direct, but always kind. A simple, hey, I enjoyed meeting you, but I don't think we are a good romantic match, is respectful and clear. No ghosting.
Right, be an adult. And finally, a big warning. Never, ever use your date for free therapy.
Please don't. Your problems aren't their responsibility, especially not on a first date. It's unfair and puts them in an awkward position. Find a therapist or a friend for that.
Good advice. Moving on to nurturing relationships. Once things get serious, boundaries need to be taught and reinforced, which I imagine is crucial for maintaining intimacy, not just starting it.
That's exactly right. As relationships deepen, clearly communicating your needs, defining what's comfortable and what's not, and then gently but firmly reinforcing those boundaries when they're crossed. That's foundational for ongoing emotional intimacy.
It builds trust.
It builds a strong relationship based on openness, clarity, mutual respect, and deep honesty. It's basically showing your partner how to love you well and them showing you the same.
And honesty remains paramount at every stage of the relationship, not just at the beginning.
Oh, absolutely. Constant honesty with yourself about your true attraction, whether you feel safe, if your life goals still align. That self-check-in is vital.
And with your partner.
And then honesty with your partner about your thoughts, dreams, desires, fears. If you find you don't feel comfortable being honest with them about important things, that's a red flag in itself. That's a problem that needs to be addressed directly.
Okay. The book introduces a really practical tool called the feedback wheel for effective communication, especially when conflict inevitably arises. Could you explain how that works? Sounds useful.
It's fantastic, really structured, and helps take the emotion down a notch. It has 4 steps.
Okay, step 1.
First, state what you observed factually, without judgment or accusation. For example, when I saw the clothes on the floor this morning, just the facts.
Step 2.
Second, share what you thought about that observation, always using I statements. I thought you didn't care about keeping our shared space tidy. Own your thought.
Step 3.
Third, explain how that thought made you feel. Again, I statement. And that made me feel frustrated and a little disrespected.
And finally,
Step 4, express what you would like to happen instead, focusing on a future-oriented solution. Instead, I would really appreciate it if you could put your clothes in the hamper when you take them off. It moves the conversation from blame and complaint to clarity and collaborative solutions.
that's so helpful for those seemingly minor annoyances, right? Like the sound of someone's breathing or leaving clothes everywhere, that can somehow become major issues over time.
They absolutely can. The book acknowledges that these seemingly minor annoyances, if left unaddressed, can just infiltrate your consciousness and grow into significant resentment.
They fester.
They fester. They can become so pronounced that you literally can't stand being around the person anymore, slowly eroding the foundation of the relationship. The feedback wheel provides a way to address them constructively before they reach that point.
Okay, preventative maintenance. Eventually, though, some relationships unfortunately end. The book offers a guide to breaking up mindfully. How do you do that mindfully?
Well, first and foremost, the author strongly advises against ghosting, just disappearing.
Yeah, ghosting is rough.
It emphasizes the fundamental importance of treating others with respect, even when it's difficult and uncomfortable for you. They deserve closure.
So how should you do it?
When ending things, be direct but thoughtful. Plan what you're going to say. Maybe rehearse it a bit. Use clear I statements like, I feel we've grown apart, or I'm realizing I'm no longer feeling the same way about our future.
And anticipate their reaction.
Absolutely. Anticipate their feelings, sadness, anger, confusion, and be understanding of their reaction. Listen respectfully. Swallow your pride. Unless, of course, you feel unsafe, then prioritize your safety.
What if there's someone else?
If you've found someone else, own up to it, if asked directly. They will likely find out eventually anyway. And being honest, even if it's painful in the moment, prevents multiplied hurt and betrayal down the line. It's ripping off the Band-Aid.
Okay. And if you're the one getting dumped, that's never easy, but the book offers some mindful strategies for handling it.
Yeah, being dumped sucks.
Yes.
No way around that.
Yeah.
But how you handle it matters. First, mourn. Allow yourself to feel the full range of emotions. Sadness, anger, confusion, grief. Don't deny them or try to be strong. Feel it.
Let yourself be sad.
Yes. Second, cut ties for healing. Seriously. That means no texting, no booty calls, and definitely no obsessive social media stalking. Create clear space to heal.
Hard, but necessary.
Very. Third, actively work on letting go of the pain and resentment. Holding on to bitterness doesn't look good on anyone, and it only holds you back from future positive experiences. Forgive for your own sake.
And fourth, a reframe.
Fourth, try to reframe the rejection. It might be hard to see in the moment, but getting dumped was probably ultimately the best thing that could have happened for you both. It simply means it wasn't the right fit, wasn't meant to be, making room for someone who was a better match.
Any examples?
As the author humorously points out, even Jennifer Aniston got dumped by Brad Pitt, right? And think about it. Half of Taylor Swift's amazing music catalog wouldn't exist without breakups. It can be fuel.
Haha, true. So the final step after getting dumped is to get back to you.
Yes. After allowing yourself to mourn and then actively letting go, refocus all that energy back onto yourself. Reclaim your life. Re-engage with the things that make you, you. Spend quality time with supportive friends, hit the gym, cook your favorite meals, get a makeover if it makes you feel good, watch your favorite comfort movies, or, as the author playfully suggests, dance naked in your bedroom to your favorite music. Whatever brings you joy.
Love it. Dance it out.
It's about rediscovering your joy, your independence, and your own wholeness outside of a relationship.
Okay. And finally, mindful mating, sex, and intimacy. The book suggests that comfort in your own body's self-acceptance is foundational for good sex. Why is that connection so crucial?
It's absolutely foundational because self-acceptance releases that crippling self-criticism, which is a major, major sex killer.
Yeah.
If you're worried about how you look, you can't be present in the pleasure.
Right, you're in your head.
Exactly. The book also explains how oxytocin, that cuddle hormone released during sex, can sometimes create a false sense of closeness early on. While that feels good, the author stresses that the real foundation for lasting, truly fulfilling sex is connection, at a deeper level. It's built on emotional intimacy, trust, and vulnerability that goes beyond just the physical act. When you're comfortable in your own skin, you're free to be present, connect deeply, and actually enjoy the experience fully.
Makes sense. What are some of the other major sex killers that mindful mating helps us address?
Well, stress is a huge one, just general life stress. It's a major mood killer, but mindfulness practices can help you manage it overall.
Okay, what else?
Then there's preoccupation with your body, constantly worrying about perceived flaws like, belly rolls, cellulite, breast size, penis size. That completely kills presence and pleasure for you and often your partner too.
The internal critic again.
Yes. Another common one is spectatoring. That's where you're essentially watching yourself perform sexually instead of being a part of what is happening. You're outside the experience, judging it.
That sounds really disconnecting.
It totally disconnects you from your body, your partner, and the pleasure. Kills intimacy. And finally, worry about performance like erections or outcomes like pregnancy or STDs can also steal your focus and create negative associations, pulling you away from the present moment of connection and sensation.
But the book provides mindful mating exercises to help us get out of our heads and back into our bodies, right?
Yes, thankfully.
Yeah.
Like the I am a sexual being mantra meditation. It's designed to cultivate openness and release expectations before intimacy, allowing you to be present without judgment. Just repeating something like, I am a sexual being. I am open to what this encounter may bring me. I let go of all my expectations.
Simple but powerful.
Very. There's also sensate focus, which is a classic sex therapy exercise developed by Masters and Johnson.
How does that work?
Partners take turns giving and receiving pleasure through touch, starting non-genitally, like touching arms, back, face, and gradually progressing only when ready. Its genius is that it completely takes the pressure off performance or orgasm.
The focus is just on touch?
The focus is purely on sensory awareness and nonverbal communication. Noticing sensations, textures, temperatures, noticing your partner's response like, did his mouth opening softly show you that he is enjoying your stroke? It's incredibly healing for intimacy and reconnecting with sensation.
And post-sex communication is encouraged too.
Definitely. To talk openly, gently, about the experience, what was liked, maybe what wasn't, clarifying any nonverbal cues. Mindful mating is all about being present, non-judgmental, and deeply connected, which ultimately leads to a much more intimate, fulfilling, and liberated sexual experience for everyone involved.
This has been such an insightful deep dive into Seeking Soulmate. Wow. It really reinforces that the journey to companionship doesn't have to be this arduous, stressful pursuit we often make it.
No, it doesn't.
It can truly be a process where you find profound pleasure and, maybe more importantly, learn so much more about yourself along the way.
Self-discovery is huge.
Every experience, good or bad, becomes worthwhile in a way, especially when you let go of that rigid need for things to go a certain way, right?
Absolutely. Letting go of the outcome. And that ultimately is the beauty of it. By genuinely embracing your individuality, your uniqueness, whatever it is, as your most powerful asset.
Seeing it as a strength.
Seeing it as a strength,
Right.
exactly. And by consistently applying these mindful dating tools we've talked about, you really can transform any circumstance or even identity that you might have once perceived as a handicap into a genuine strength.
That's empowering.
It really is. And doing that creates plentiful, often surprising opportunities for genuine connection, deep love, lasting happiness, and, let's not forget, a lot more fun along the way.